Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's case I'm going to be talking to you about is the Todt family murders. So the Todt family murders was a multiple homicide case that occurred in December 2019 in Disney's planned community of celebration in Florida. Anthony Tony Todt, age 44, confessed to the murders of his wife, that was 42-year-old Megan Todt, and their three children, Alec, age 13, Tyler, age 11, and Zoe, age 4. Anthony was a physical therapist who had recently been served a federal warrant for healthcare fraud charges stemming from his physical therapy business. Authorities coming to issue the warrant found the man living in his house with the badly decomposed bodies of his entire family, including the family dog. In 2022, Anthony Todt was convicted of the murders and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. An additional year was added for the killing of their pet dog, deemed as an act of animal cruelty. Anthony Todt's father, Robert Todt, was arrested in July 1980 and had been charged with hiring one of his former students to shoot and kill his wife, Loretta. And this was in order to marry his mistress. Anthony Todt was just 4 years old at the time and witnessed the attack on his mother. The would-be assassin, strictly ordered to harm no one else but Loretta, did not harm Anthony. Loretta survived the bullet to her head and went on to remarry. Anthony Todt dated Megan, a physical therapist and a yoga instructor in college, and the two had later then married. The couple worked together at a shared physical therapy clinic that they owned. After their children had been born, Megan then became a stay-at-home mother, while Anthony managed their clinic. The family was a well-known family that was by their neighbours, and the Todt children then were encouraged to get involved in the arts and music. Anthony often volunteered as a youth soccer coach, and he also worked with disabled children. In 2017, according to Anthony, Megan contracted Lyme disease, and this was after a tick bite during a trip to Disney World. She then suffered from bouts of depression and became more reserved and isolated. The Todt family moved to Celebration, Florida after living in Connecticut for several years. Anthony Todt had then continued working in Connecticut at the clinic and visited the family weekly. Formerly active in the Connecticut community, the Todts were withdrawn and uninvolved in their neighbours in Celebration. By 2019, Anthony had gained a significant amount of weight and had then received a diagnosis of diabetes. In April 2019, it was discovered that Anthony was charging patients for care that they had never received. The investigation ensued, which revealed Anthony was using the excess money to pay the family home in Celebration, as well as trips to Disney World. Anthony had taken additional loans from firms in New York City who had sued them for failure to pay. Todt was over $100,000 in debt. Todt initially maintained his innocence with investigators, but eventually relented and admitted to the fraud. It was believed by investigators that Megan Todt and the children had no idea about the fraud, as they were uninvolved with the business. Anthony Todt's motive then for the murders is very much unclear, as to his testimony then about them had changed multiple times, and at one point he had claimed that Megan attempted suicide by stabbing herself in her liver after killing the children. In another testimony, he said that he was trying to save the family from, quote, the apocalypse and join them in the afterlife. While the Todts usually returned to Connecticut from Florida during the winter to enjoy the snowy weather in 2019, they remained in Celebration. The police then performed the initial welfare check on December 29th, but left when they received no response from anyone inside of the house. Investigators from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General and Osceola County deputies returned on January 13, 2020, And this was after a disturbing cell phone text began appearing on family members' phones that was from Anthony Todt. Despite the Todt's presence in Florida, mail piled up on the porch of the home and an eviction notice was placed on the door. A warrant was issued for Anthony's arrest, and then the authorities had arrived. Anthony had wandered out of his house shakenly very strangely. Obtaining a key from a property's landlord, authorities entered the home and discovered a pungent odour. In beds throughout the house, family members were discovered stabbed in their stomachs and smothered to death with crucifix gripped in their hands. Zoe Todt had decomposed to the point that authorities initially couldn't find her until they examined Megan's corpse and saw Zoe's body beneath her feet. The family dog Breezy was lying dead on the floor in the dog's bed in the master bedroom. Anthony himself had consumed a large amount of Benadryl in what he acclaimed was a suicide attempt. The children had also been drugged with Benadryl. Anthony John Todt, born September 29th, 1975, and was at age 47. All of the victims are Megan Todt, age 42, wife of Anthony Todt. Alexander Alec Todt, age 13, was the son. Tyler Todt, age 11, was another son. Zoe Todt, age 4, was the daughter, and Breezy was the family dog. Anthony claimed an inability to recall the events of the murders and also testified that the initial confession had been made under duress. He did eventually confess to the murders after telling a story about returning to the family home to look for a missing silver Mickey Mouse necklace that had belonged to his daughter Zoe. In 2022, Anthony Todt was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In a landmark move, 1 year of additional incarceration was added to his sentence for animal cruelty charges stemming from his killing of the family dog. Okay then everyone, so that is today's case. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I see you all again next time.